Hello and welcome back to the old stream farm. Today we've got a fertilized field 1 and 2, and then the only thing that should be left to do for them is weeding once the weeds grow, but we've plowed them, so maybe we'll get lucky and we don't actually have weeds, but we'll just have to have a see when the time comes around. But that's the major job for today. That'll be keeping our farm going, and we'll also have a bit of a look and see how many eggs we have with our chickens at the moment, and we'll just make sure that they're going really well. After that, we'll have a look and see for some odd jobs, maybe start a contract or two, and just keep things going while our farm's actually being rather quiet because we've only got the 2 fields to tend. So if we just keep them going as we need to, any other time that we have left, we should be looking at making money via other means. So let's get into it. So I did recently install a whole bunch of new mods, more than I can count, and I've been running them on both of my save games. So if there are any mods that you notice popping up and I have not included them in my Discord server, please let me know. Leave a comment or say something in Discord and I'll be sure to let you know what they are. And if I'm using a mod and I remember to, I will try and add into the video a little description saying that this is the mod that I was using, and I'll try and update the Discord server, but I do change my mods rather frequently, so at the very least I'm going to keep all the main ones in there, and that should be good enough. But yeah, I understand there might be something that someone's interested in, so I'll be sure to try and include it. But as I said, I change them very frequently, and I'll use something and then remove it, and a few days later I might get it back, so just bear with me. I like to use mods and they can get out of hand really quickly, so sometimes I'll pick something up and use it, think it's really good, and then later on I'll decide that, well, maybe that wasn't really as good as I thought, or I feel like it's not really a mod that's that crucial to the impact on my experience in the game. So yeah, things do change. But anyway, vehicles, I should update them if I'm gonna start using a different vehicle. I've got some Massey Ferguson mods installed, but I doubt that I'll ever use them. So the thing is, I don't want to add them to the list and then never use them anyway. So yeah, we'll just have to see. I think that'll be most of this field done. We'll just quickly check. So yeah, just quickly had a look on the map, and it seems that we have completed that field. Something I do want to install, maybe on this tractor, or maybe we'll upgrade this tractor, then I'll do it, is getting the GPS mod. Especially for fertilizing, I absolutely hate the way that you can't tell whether you fertilized at a certain spot. So I like to use the GPS mod just to make that a little bit easier, and you're not wasting fertilizer that way. So let's get field 2. It's very difficult to tell how wide you're fertilizing as well. That's one of the reasons why I like to run the GPS mod. Mainly for fertilizing and plowing. That's really the only times that I feel like I really need it. The plows are just a pain. Even though I've got a straight plow now, it's more of a subsoiler than a plow, but it makes it a lot easier. But if you're using one of those other ones, a more traditional plow, then yeah, I like to use the GPS mod. So for this one, I know I'm overshooting on the side there, but I don't want to make the rest of my rows really wonky, so we'll keep it in a straight line and we'll come back. Even though I've moved over just a little bit, we'll try to overlap rather than miss chunks. Well, that's my style of doing it anyway. So we have enough fertilizer to do everything that we need to. There'll be some small sections missing. I think we should be heading about here. And one thing you can use is the map bottom left to try and straighten out your lines if the fields are perpendicular, like 90-degree angles. So you just look at the bottom left and see what the degrees are that you're heading in. Basically just the compass. And since we've done this bottom section, turning around will be a lot easier. So if we head up about here, I think. It's all guesswork when you don't have the GPS. I think we might be missing a little sliver, so I'm going to move across just a tiny bit. Our fields aren't very big, so working them doesn't take too long. And I think we're going to have to come back up again. So let's head down here. There we go. I think I've overlapped a little bit too much. I'll just come back on that edge anyway, because that's a fair amount if you consider the entire edge is missing like 2 meters worth, 3 meters maybe. If there are like really small slithers left on the map, when I check it, I'm not going to be coming back up and doing them unless there's a huge chunk like in that top right corner from where we are now. There should be a fair bit missing there. Actually, look in those tracks in the render distance up ahead. 2 rows back, there might be a fairly big gap, so we'll check that. It would have been nice if the minimap updated like it does with the precision farming DLC, just standard. I don't see why that has to be only precision farming. I think that's something that can be incorporated in the game standard. Okay, so I just checked the map, fixed up a few small spots that we were missing. Time to head back to the farm, and rather than just detach the fertilizer, we'll see if we need it for any jobs that might be up on the contracts. So we'll have a look and we'll take it from there, since our main jobs are basically done for the day. The next thing that will probably happen is weeding, if that is required. But since we haven't had anything sprout just yet, we will have a bit of a look later on and see where the weeds are at. So I've had a look at the contract and I've decided we're going to do a job at field 54, harvesting some soybeans. After that, there's 2 other contracts also for harvesting, which we might take a look at. Once we're done at least this contract, we'll see where we are for time, and we will be able to decide whether we want to do another job for today. But for now, let's do this, and we'll make a good amount of profit from the crop that gets left over after the mission's actually complete. So we'll make a little bit of extra money that way. Okay, so here we are with all of the soybeans loaded up. It is time to make the delivery and complete the contract. It'll be interesting to see if we do end up making any sort of an additional profit on these, so let's see. So there we have it. We made an additional $1,900, I think it was. So not too bad. We'll have a look and see if there's another contract that we want to do, and I'll be right back. So I've had a bit of a look at the fields, and I think we'll go with field 33. We're going to bale this one again, so another baling contract. They are really good for money. I'd like to do some other things, but the money that you get out of it's just not that great, and the amount you get as well from the product or things that you're taking off the field, whether it be the silage bales or grass bales, even hay bales, make a lot more money than other items would, such as the soybeans. So I'm going to do another baling contract, and I think I'm going to do a few of these baling contracts off screen so that we can just progress a little bit quicker in this series. I'd really like to get somewhere at least by episode 20. I want to start doing some of the things that we want to do, our big goals for this farm, which would be the vineyard or at least get some cattle going. So by episode 20, I want to have either a field set up that will start growing some grapes and we can rent out a harvester maybe if we need to, or it would be good to have some of the baling equipment that we're going to need for the cows so we can actually make some feed. So one of those two things has got to start happening by episode 20. So we'll go ahead and do field 33 here. I think for this one we'll do a few jump cuts rather than a time lapse, but we'll see what ends up happening anyway. So I'm going to get this equipment. I'll see you in a second. So just getting a little bit set up here, and from what I can tell it's going to be a lot easier to see where the field margins are for this job compared to our last baling contract. It was a bit harder, so hopefully this will go to plan, and we'll make a start in this corner here. It's going to be a bit tricky doing some of the corners on this field because of the way that it's set up, but I'm sure we will be fine. So if I just drive in, start up the second mower, and we'll make a start. Just gonna go around nice and easy. I don't want to have too much stuff underneath these shrubs and bushes, so we'll leave a bit of a margin for them. Otherwise it's going to get very tricky to clean up everything. So I'd rather leave a little bit on the edges and try and get every last bit, and then leaving some of the piles of grass there. Alright, so I'm going to get this stuff cut, and I'll see you about every time we finish something and start the next part of the job. I think that'll be the most efficient way of jump cutting this one. Yeah, alright, so I'll see you at the end. Okay, so we finished cutting the grass. It's time to get all these all into some nice swafts, and this is a implement I haven't used before. And the unfolding and folding animation is pretty interesting. So let's give this a bit of a clip going here. I like that there's actually a sound every time they put the tines on there. I think that's very interesting. So let's see if... Okay, so just turn it on and it should start working. And this is actually perfect for this field with all of the different angles that you got to go into and basically collect the grass. So this should work really well. It'll be slow, but it's the best one for the job. So I'll see you once we start baling and wrapping. Well, here we are, taking the final load of bales. I don't know if you noticed that in time lapse, but we already made $83 on the last tip. So that means all of this is just pure profit, which is really good. I also checked up on our chickens. Unfortunately, they don't even have a full pallet yet, so we are unable to make any money from them today. The other thing is they still got food and they're happy. So I didn't include that in the video today just because I practically walked over to the pen and everything was good. So there we go, $13,000 of profit on top of everything that we're going to earn, which I think is about 9,000. So we go 13,000 and almost 10,000 here just for completing the contract itself. So that's really good. We're going to get 9,700 though because of the leasing costs. So really good profit here today. As I said before, these baling contracts are really good. So I want to get a few more of them done. And something we might actually do right now is have a look in the store and see some baling trailers, because I'm really overloading this, and as you saw in the time lapse there, I attempted multiple times to add extra bales onto the trailer, which it really isn't meant to take. That's one of the things I always do in this game apparently, is try to overload trailers. So one that I was thinking of getting was this one here. Now I believe that this should be able to handle the correct size of bale that we want. It's just a bit difficult to tell. But I like the design of this trailer, so I think I'm going to go with it with the BKTs on there and the separator. So that's 17,000 done and dusted, which I think we'll buy this one because the transport takes a fair bit. Anyway, so now that we have that, oh, I forgot I have the store deliveries mod on, so we just got charged for that and it's delivered it to the incorrect spot. But anyway, we'll get everything packed up and I'm going to call the episode right there. So thank you very much for watching today. I'm definitely going to be doing some work off screen and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, cheers.